becoming a chiropractor? Ever been in a cryo chamber? You ever have an idea with your friend and want to make it a business? Serving up at the breakfast buffet, we have Joe Machitelli, owner and founder of Thrive Sports Recovery. I hope you guys will enjoy.
Do it! Great jazz call. Major decision, 14-4.
Oh, we have Joe Machitelli from Thrive, owner and founder of Thrive Sports Recovery and Rehab, chiropractor. So what's up, Joe? How you doing?
What's up, Ray? How we doing, buddy?
Doing good. Making the best out of the worst times. So, how about you? How you handling everything?
Same thing, man. Same thing. Just trying to, do something physical every day, do something for mental health every day, and just stay as positive as you can be during times like this.
Yeah, for sure. And you opened up Thrive in Spring Lake, 2017, and now you have a second place, right?
Yes.
In Point Pleasant. With the whole quarantine, how has that been affected? Of course, it has an effect, but.
So for the last few weeks, we have been closed. We are working on protocols right now to try and transition back into opening up. My partner and I, AJ, the one who opened it with me in 2017, we are working on those protocols and trying to be as safe as possible. We have been able to get work done in our new location, which will be in Point Pleasant. We're getting, we got a lot of the construction done. We're getting supplies in. It slowed down because it should have already been open and running by now. But we are getting stuff done, and we're just trying to push forward with that and hoping to have that office open very close to the same time as our Spring Lake reopening.
Right. So it's good, taking the right precautions and everything. So you had this idea, right, with AJ. He was one of your friends. How did you guys just come up with this idea? Were you guys, I know AJ's an acupuncturist.
Yes.
And, you were a chiropractor. You guys were studying those things in college, and then you guys just had this idea?
So AJ knew longer than I did exactly what he wanted to do. He always knew he wanted to do acupuncture, and he always knew he wanted to do sports, which was awesome because, kind of put you on the right path early on. I always knew I wanted to do sports, but I wasn't always sure that I wanted to be a chiropractor. I was leaning towards, orthopedics or physical therapy when I first got there. And then as I went along my education, got some job opportunities and internships, I steered towards the chiropractor realm. But probably like 12 years ago now, AJ and I think he graduated 2 years before me I think he graduated 2 years before me. So when I was a sophomore, he was a senior. But we spent a lot of time together. We were in the bullpen. He was the setup guy. I was the closer. So we each pitched about 20 games a year with each other. So we're always hanging out. And in college sports and stuff like that, you were a wrestler. So you spend a lot, even when you're not practicing or playing, you're spending all your time with the same people. So him and I spent a lot of time together, and we would always talk about it. And, we went back through our history of injuries and all the things that we could have done better and where we could have been and this, that, and whatever. And then we kind of just dude, we need to make a place one day that, specifically takes care of athletes and prevents them from getting hurt and helps them stay healthy the entire time they're playing. And that was it. So, we steered down that road. We both went our professional ways, and we kind of deviated for a little bit, got some, experience under our belts. And then, about 3 years ago, about 3.5 years ago, we started throwing stuff back and forth about opening up. It probably took us a solid year to year and a half to get everything we needed to open up and get the business up and running.
Yeah, when I go there, when I go into Thrive, it has that feel of like a family in a community. The best way to kind of describe it is, if you're a college athlete, you go into a trainer's room and your buddies are there. You have the training staff and they're always super nice. And that was the vibe I got there. It was like you go into Thrive, you have the great ladies at the front desk, and then you got yourself, AJ, Ed. You guys are just I feel like you guys are my bros. You go in there, and you take care of everyone. Definitely a great vibe to go in there. And, we really appreciate everything that you help us with when it's, chiropractor, acupuncture. You guys even have the Cryo Chamber. What was the process of getting that Cryo Chamber? I know it's the big thing now to do.
Yeah, so that was one hell of a process. So we opened up 2017 in December, And then we were in talks all through the summer of 2018 with a company that custom built them out of Germany. We got the delivery of our chamber in like Thanksgiving time of 2018, and it probably wasn't 100% up and running, good to go for like a year later. It took like a year of, fixing and changing and this and that, whatever, before we tweaked it to work well. And the problem is, cryo, I know a lot of people know what cryo is, and like, how could that take that long? What's possibly different? I mean, you've been in it, and I'm sure you've done or seen other ones. So the most common cryo is nitrogen with the head cut out. Ours is, like you said, it's a chamber. Your entire body's in there, and it's cold. Like, it's pumping cold air on you the entire time you're in there. So the amount of time you're exposed to such a cold temperature is definitely longer in this type of chamber than any other cryotherapy application there is.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, I love being in it because, the ice bath, you're in there for 15, 20 minutes. This cryo chamber, you're in it for 3 minutes. So it's good for people that are kind of a little impatient like myself. Boom, you're in your 3 minutes.
Exactly.
It's good. What is the difference between maybe an ice bath and the cryo chamber? Is one better than the other?
So there are studies starting to show that the cryo chamber that we have that gets the entire body cold does have more benefits than an ice bath. Obviously, an ice bath, you can't go under the water. So step one, you can't get your head cold enough to really change the brain. So because of our system and your brain's in there and you're at negative 200, negative 180 degrees, you're chilling down the brain. So that affects the nervous system. So once you affect the nervous system and get the parasympathetics and sympathetics kind of balancing each other out again, you can help to reduce, high levels of stress, let the body recover from a nervous system standpoint. Usually me, myself, and a few patients, I'm not sure if you're one of them, I crash that night hard after cryotherapy. Like, I sleep like a baby, and it's like it kind of like shuts down all my sympathetic, and I just get a good sleep for a good day, and then that usually helps me out for quite a few days afterwards. So compared to the ice bath, number one, you get the head in there, change the nervous system. Number two, the ice bath is super, super superficial because it's starting from the outside of your skin in, and it's really not that cold. An ice bath's like 40 degrees, which is cold. I'm not saying that's not cold, but in comparison to negative 180 degrees, where you can really feel like your body getting cold on the inside, it's just a different feeling, and you're able to promote more decrease of inflammation throughout the entire body rather than just superficially like the arms and legs.
Right. So, not only are you sports, rehab place, but you guys also treat, teachers and,
Yes.
retirees. So you treat, the average day people basically.
Correct.
Does cryo chamber help? I know I've read on studies and stuff. Does it really help with fat loss and weight loss and all that stuff too?
So there are studies that show that it does. It's not a direct, like, you're not burning fat while you're in there, but there is, when you get out of the machine, there is an increase in metabolism, which I think has been shown to help burn an extra 300 to 800 calories within a day, which that's weight loss. So obviously you can't only do cryo if you're looking to shed some pounds. You have to, exercise, eat well, but when you add that in on top of it, it'll definitely increase your ability to cut some weight in that sense, which is nice.
Right. Yeah. So, owning a business, starting your business, for someone, that has an idea and finally make it your own thing. How rewarding is that?
It's great. It is awesome running your own business. It is, we kind of had this question before, and AJ and I both come up with, it's like the scariest, most stressful, exciting time of your life. And that's really the best way to explain it, because there's no safety nets behind you. You're taking all the risks, you're making all of the decisions, and you're trying your best to, build a brand, have it grow. Obviously, you're doing this to benefit yourself, but at the same time, you want to benefit all your employees and everybody that works for you, because there's a lot of people that rely on you as the business owner to keep the business up and growing and maintaining the status that they live in their life so that they can continue to do what they're doing.
Right. Yeah. So not only are you a chiropractor, but you're a business owner. You're the captain of the ship. So how do you just balance all that out? Taking care of your patients, but also making sure your business is up and running and balancing all that out.
So I'd say the most important thing to do, obviously, if you're a single business owner, okay, you have a lot on your plate. You have a lot of things that you have to do. Probably the smartest thing that we ever did was AJ and I became business partners. So AJ's the acupuncturist, I'm the chiropractor. We both treat every day. But we also do have strengths and weaknesses compared to each other that balance each other out. So there are aspects of the business that, AJ knows that I'm going to get done and I'm going to do them. And while, I'm crushing those, he knows what his are and he crushes those. And then we, come back together if anything needs to be discussed and determined and go from there. So I'd say, having a great business partner makes it so much easier. And it's made it the ability for him and I to really grow so quickly, in the last 2.5 years. And it's, in a time like what we're in right now, if I didn't have a good business partner, it'd be very difficult to get through and navigate these tough times. But having someone that you can talk to about the business and help you with different things and run ideas and, help us transition through this has been, the best part about owning a business.
Yeah, for sure. And the main thing you talked about is building the brand, building that Thrive brand. There's millions and thousands of chiropractors, even in New Jersey, there's a ton. And how important is building that brand and just getting people to know who Thrive is and what they stand for?
So to us, that was always the thing that was most important to us was, being able to have, professional athletes like yourself and a lot of the other ones that come in, wearing our name because it represents what we want in our lives personally. AJ and I want to thrive in our own lives, and him and I are very, we're still very physical and active in our lives, just like we were when we were college athletes. So to have, people out there that represent what our brand is trying to do for the world and the community around itself is the coolest part about it. And we just thought that was extremely important to stick to what we do, who we are inside as a brand, and not deviate from that just to, make a buck or do what everyone else is doing. We think it's very, like you said, I mean, I don't know many doctors' offices where you come in and you feel like, you're in the locker room or the clubhouse or the trainer's room and you're just hanging out with a whole bunch of friends. And you say that like everybody in there, and you do know some people, but you don't know everybody. But every time you're in there, it's the same feeling no matter what other patients are in there with you, and everybody gets along very well. And I feel like, AJ and I and Ed and the rest of the employees at work have done a good job of promoting that atmosphere within the office.
Yeah, for sure. Like all the Thrive athletes, like we want to help you guys build the brand and get people to thrive. I tag you in almost all my Instagram pictures. It might be annoying, but I need to get that brand out because you guys care about me and I care about you guys, and I think that's something special to have. For your athletes, and we're not only athletes, but some of the clients. We want to thrive and we want to build that brand, and I think that's very special. You said you played college baseball.
Yes.
Where was that at?
So AJ and I both played at the College of New Jersey, which is right in Ewing.
Yep.
Division III, good school. Top 25 in the country for Division III when we were there every year. We had a lot of fun. I mean, college baseball, I know you're a college athlete. I mean, most athletes that come through have played college sports or something. There's something about college sports that's just, high school sports are cool, but college sports were just like a different level. It was just a different type of, feeling. And I guess the best way to explain is like you explained in the beginning is like everybody just feels like family.
Yeah. You're seeing these guys more than you're seeing your own family. And the most important part was you learned from your mistakes, the injuries and everything, and you wanted to make that was your new passion. When was that click moment where you're like, okay, I'm not going to pursue a career in baseball anymore. This is my new passion.
So AJ and I had similar upbringings when it came to sports. We both played high school baseball. AJ was a very, very good pitcher in high school. He was touted to be, a top college recruit. I was actually an outfielder in high school. I was younger than AJ, but I was coming up and I was doing my thing and I was playing pretty well. And I probably had the ability to go to a little bit bigger of a school and play some sports. AJ suffered an elbow injury pitching, had Tommy John surgery, I think at like 14 or something like that. And I had a knee injury, got in a collision at 16. So him and I both got injured early on in our high school careers, which kind of derailed us off the path of going much further. And at that point, him and I, we still had aspirations to play sports, but we also knew that, we could give it a try, play Division III. You would know early on if you were something of a different level where people were looking at you or thinking about you. But we also knew that we had to be prepared to do something else with our lives. And at that point, everything we went through, all the therapy, and, AJ went to acupuncture very young. That's really got him into it. Over time, we started to I had my own thoughts on it. Like, man, this is cool. I would love to help other athletes. And AJ thought the same. And then when we came together, we were like, but there's got to be a better way. There's AJ's injury was pitching. So maybe there was a flaw in his mechanics or the way he was recovering or something that no one ever saw before. Maybe my knee wouldn't, I was in a traumatic collision, but maybe there were other things that led to it, like, lack of strength or flexibility that I could have pushed through and gotten a little better, a little quicker. So him and I were like, there's got to be a better way to take care of athletes. Like, everyone in this world lives to be like, you get hurt, then you get treated. How it is in our office. It's very like, no. We want you to continue to be treated so you don't get hurt. There's very preventative there. And I think that was the thing that we tried to instill. And I think that's why we've been able to draw so many athletes, as we've treated in a manner to not only get you better when you're injured, but to do our best to prevent any injuries from happening at all.
Right. And, that's super important, being a college athlete, even a high school athlete, to find, even if you want to pursue a professional athlete career, you always got to find that backup plan and everything. Like Eric, I talked with Eric before, Eric Carter. He says,
Yes.
Right now he's studying for his LSATs. He wants to be a lawyer. And me, I studied sports management in college at NYU, sports media. And there's so many different areas in sports that you can go. There's a lot of opportunity. And what's interesting about you guys is you guys kind of combined everything. You got the sports recovery, you got building your own brand. So I think that's very impressive, and it's awesome to see. And that's why you have so many great athletes in there. How do you balance, and how do you just tell a difference in treat different patients, compared to being a professional athlete to like I said, the teachers, or just common everyday people?
The way I guess it's just every person that comes in, we treat them completely different. And I guess we just try to be as transparent and the best communicators that we can be. We understand that everybody has different goals. So that's really where it comes down to. What's your goal? I know Eric's goal is to be able to play basketball and not get injured. You're a professional wrestler. We have a lot of MMA fighters. So everybody has a goal. And then you go from like a teacher or a retired teacher that still is very active and wants to be able to go to the gym 5 days a week. So, I got to know your goal, and then I can know how far I can push you. So that's really the difference. What are you trying to accomplish? And then that tells me how hard I have to push you or help you to get you to accomplish it. And what you can withstand. And then clearly, obviously, the younger you are, the more you can take. The older you are, the less we do. That's common treatments as we get through. But that would be my best explanation of how we determine.
Yeah, it's great. And what's very impressive is you guys work as a team. Each athlete and each person in Thrive, you guys know them personally and what they need. And whether I feel like you, AJ, and Ed, you guys all talk and come up with a plan for that specific athlete. When I'm in there, you work on me, AJ works on me, and then Ed has me doing these prehab stuffs. So I feel like that's very important too. Just building the team. How did you build that team camaraderie and everything?
So when AJ and I opened up, it was just him and I for about a year. And we were used to treating alone, but we knew that there was such a maximal benefit to us helping each other's patients, or every patient that walked in the door doing more than one. So we just built protocols as we went. We knew that, AJ knows if he gets a patient that comes in that wants acupuncture and they have a neck or a low back issue, he knows what I do very well. So he's able to explain it to them and make them feel comfortable knowing that what I'm going to do complements what he's doing, and vice versa for me. So I'd say the number one thing we had to do was, when we first got there, AJ and I had to really understand what him and I did. And, we got treated by each other often in the beginning, just to make sure that, I fully understood what he was doing. And I asked a lot of questions, and he did the same to me. So I think that was it. And then once we had our physical therapist, Ed, come in, we discussed with him what we do, explained to him, he showed us what he does. And we just tried to figure out a complementary system at all times to help everybody from every approach.
Yeah. That's awesome. just being able to do that, that's fantastic. Like we touched before, the Thrive athletes, like we're feeling a part of, a part of the culture, a part of the Thrive brand. What was I call this adversity moment. What is some adversity you've been through, either in your life or as a chiropractor or treating patients that you've been through that's a part of you and part of your story, something that, part of your journey that you learned?
I'd say my biggest adversity that led me down this road was being injured when I was 16 years old. When I was in high school, like I felt that I was on top of the world. I was good at sport. I defined myself by my ability to play baseball. That was I'm a baseball player. I'm a baseball player. I'm a baseball player. I'm going to be a professional baseball player. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be that. That was always me. And I defined myself by that. So I guess that once I got injured, that kind of put me in a rut, and it put me in a position where I didn't know how to define myself. And I think that taught me a lot of mental strength as I've gotten older, because, I didn't learn this until recently. But I had to learn my self-worth was not attached to those performances or that athletic ability. That's not my self-worth. My self-worth is attached to my opinion of myself as being a good person, a good man, a good doctor, a good husband. That's I'd say the adversity that I had to learn through. And by learning that and controlling my own mental health and the way I feel towards myself, I'm able to now give more of myself to everybody else in my life.
Yeah, for sure. You feel more thankful and appreciative of what you have, because life isn't about those achievements. It's not about getting that national champ, not about getting that state title. It's about people around you and building the connections and relationships and helping everyone, because we're all in this together. What are we talked about, Thrive athletes again. What are some what is it like not a difficult athlete, but a serious injury that one of these athletes went through and you had to treat them and just get them through?
Yeah, so I'd say some of the toughest to deal with when it comes to athletes. I mean, we're a lot of combat sports, that, and anyone who goes on our Instagram or Facebook, we're a lot of combat sports. Some champs from the UFC and contenders, a lot of them have come through our door. I would say the most difficult in that world has been knee injuries, because as a combat athlete, when your knee's jacked up, you can't run, you can't condition, it's hard to cut weight. You can't put weight on that one leg, so it puts you in a bad position when you get in the ring, you get in the octagon, and it makes it very difficult. Plus, the next thing is most of our athletes, every time they get called to fight or have a match or anything like that, like that's their life. That's how they make their money. That's how they survive. And you're not going to be able to look a professional athlete in the face and tell them that they're not allowed to compete for the next 6 to 8 months. They don't want to hear that. And we're very transparent with them. We let them know, like, listen, this is what you have going on. It's not completely, maybe it's not torn all the way. You don't need surgery right now. However, your knee's bad. So I know you're not going to not fight, so fight. What's the worst that happens is you have to get some sort of surgery afterwards. Okay. But, we do our best to navigate and, change what they're doing on a daily basis to make sure that they can still get in there and fight for their life. That's how they make their living. That's what they do. So I'd say those are some of the most difficult ones, is like we have some knees and stuff like that come in with a combat athlete. Just puts us in a spot where we want to do everything we can, and we're just transparent with them and let them make the decision. But, we have had other issues in the past. Like we've had shoulder issues with wrestlers. They can't lift their arm up. Real hard to wrestle if you can't lift your arm up. We got lucky, though, because, we were able to diagnose it quickly, treat it quickly. The kid went on to, I think, won regions or took high placing in regions and went to states and, did well overall. And, he looked at us and he's like, listen, I'm a senior. I just want to do better than I did last year. I want to become all state. I want to do this, want to do that. And, we were able to help him and get him, I think he got on the podium on all three, which is sick.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. And, what's great about it is, what I learned, even when I go in there, I'm always willing to learn. And so I feel like you are too. We call it the white belt mentality, where you're learning and picking people's different brains. And what I like about going in there is, like, you guys show me all these, prehab stuff and recovery stuff. And I'm always asking questions and I'm always learning. And you guys, the reason why you do this is because, it helps with these muscles. And, that's something that impressed me. Like, even you're willing to learn, from the whole team and even the athletes there. So how
Mhm.
important is that for you, soaking up all this information?
It's huge. So I would say the number one thing I would tell anybody is there's no such thing as an expert. Nobody knows it all, and nobody knows it all in anything. I don't know. I don't know everything there is about chiropractic sports recovery. I just know what I learn on a daily basis, and I try to learn a little bit more every day from my patients, from my people, from anything I can. So that's the best way to approach life. Try to learn something new from somebody every single day. And it doesn't even have to be in your field. Who cares? Just learn something new, because when you're constantly trying to learn, your brain stays in that position and you don't get, pinholed to only doing something a certain way. You're always open to learning new ways to get something accomplished.
Right. Yeah. There's thousands and thousands of ways of doing stuff. Especially now in this whole quarantine situation, being able to learning new skills is very important right now. What are some things that people and athletes can do at home in quarantine? We can't go to places. We can't. Some people can't work out. We can't go to Thrive. What are some things that people could do at home?
So there's so many things available right now for online workouts and recovery. You can YouTube or anything. But AJ and I want to be a resource for anybody who needs it. We're doing our best to help every single person we can. Me personally, I've had 2 or 3 friends reached out that I don't treat at my office. 2 or 3 friends that have reached out in the last couple of weeks that had questions and asked me what they can and cannot do. I'll send them a video. I'll film a video. I'll type it back to them. I'll do whatever I can. So if you need anything, you can reach out to us, and we'll do our best. And if we don't have the answers, we'll put you on to somebody who may have the answer.
Yeah, and that's super important, especially at a time like this. And I asked everyone this. This is kind of put you in a hot seat. Who is Joe, and what does he want to be known for?
Joe, who is Joe? Joe is just a big-hearted guy that, wants to be remembered for doing everything he can to help every single person that's ever crossed his path in whatever way he can.
Great. Yeah, fantastic. And what do you want to be known for?
I want to be known for, for being that guy. Like, if you need something, or if you need help, if I can personally do it, or if I can get you in touch with anybody else, I'll do it. I'll help anybody I can at any time.
Great. Yeah, that's super important. So they could all find you at, Follow Thrive on Instagram,
Correct.
right? Where else could they reach you at?
So Thrive, we got Facebook and Instagram. You reach out to us. We're very active on there. We do a lot of social media. We do way more social media, I would assume, than most medical offices. And, you can find us personally, myself and my business partner. We both have Instagram, Facebook, if you need anything there. Or you can email us, find us on our website. You could literally type in Thrive, Spring Lake, New Jersey, and I'm sure it'll pop up. And like we said, we're trying to be a resource for as many people as possible right now. So if you do need anything, please ask, and we'll do our best to help.
Awesome. Thanks. I really appreciate your time. Any last things you want to tell everyone?
Yeah, I just, want to end it with, thank you, Ray, for having me. This is awesome. It's great to talk to you. Appreciate having you. You're a great advocate for us and our brand, great representation. And I would say for everybody at home right now that's dealing with some shit, just stay positive. Keep that your mental health. Mental health is important right now. Do something every single day to keep you, keep your gratitude levels up. Be thankful for something. Don't constantly be dwelling on what you don't have or can have. And that'll help get everybody through this.
Awesome. Thanks for your time. Thanks for being a part of this. And thank you, for having me as a Thrive athlete and treating me, you're helping me out and getting me in the ring as healthy as I can. So I want to thank you. I appreciate everything that you are doing and been doing.
Of course, Ray.